Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blows. Good morning. It's about 10:30, my usual time that I start filming. It's about around the time that I roll out of bed, you know. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the 2 videos I did yesterday. And they were all, it was actually, I don't know how come I'm so confused about the number of episodes. I've only done 3, so I don't know why I was talking about episode 4 and 5. I guess it just seems like it's been more than 3 episodes because the anticipation in my brain about working on this thing in the beginning, I didn't really want to do it, as you know, but I've been pleasantly surprised at the progress that I've made so far from something that I didn't think would even run, and yet I've taken a lot of rides around the block with this thing, you know, as you saw. You guys can say what you want about that $20 cheap GoPro clone camera that I got, but honestly, it's really not that bad, you know. The sound, I'm so surprised about the sound. I mean, with that thing clipped onto the bumper yesterday and me riding around the block, holy cow, man, it's loud. But then again, it is right next to the engine without a muffler. About that. So, all I have here is an inch diameter dual pipe, right? The exhaust manifold goes into the left and to the right holes for the exhaust, right? And then it's designed to go into a matching muffler that basically had a side hole with a clamp-on type thing where you just fit it over, right? I guess the diameter, the outside diameter was like 1 1/8 would fit this 1-inch diameter pipe, right? And then you would put a clamp on there and it would secure it on here. Plus it had like a hanger that would go onto one of these holes to hold it in place. So that was Dunsky, right? It was rusted to hell, fell off, whatever. And I looked online on eBay for those things. 38, 40 bucks, 50, 100 I've seen, you know. There's an aftermarket one that Stens makes, I think. Stens or Oregon, one of those. And it's shorter. It's about 2/3 the size of the stock Kohler one, right? That would work too, but that's also like 40 bucks. So while the engine sounds great without it, I was thinking about maybe just getting a 1 1/8 elbow, like from a plumbing supply, or go to the plumbing department of the Home Depot and getting like a 1 1/8 plumbing elbow that just turns like that, right? And then I could probably attach that to the that big muffler, you know, that I had yesterday that I thought about putting up like this, but it won't work because if it sticks out too much over here, I'd have to drill a hole. Actually, this whole side part would have to come off, and I would have to cut a hole here that would go, you know, and then you couldn't close the hood, you know what I mean? How would you get that to work, you know? Because look, if you open the hood, you'd have to remove it to open the hood. You know what I mean? You couldn't open and close the hood, so that's out. I can't do it that way. I don't know how other people do that, especially when you have a movable hood. You know, how do you know what I mean? You can't open and close it if that thing is there, you know? Then I thought about just forgetting about the muffler altogether and just doing an elbow with a straight pipe. But then a straight pipe, you'd be heating up the belts all the time, really hot, you know? Unless you took the straight pipe all the way to the back. Have it pointed out like that. Here's a better look at what I need. See how that is? I also had a couple of subscribers tell me that when they were watching the video, like I said, some of you guys have eagle eyes. You can see everything, even with the vibration. That's one of the reasons why I watch my own videos too, is that, you know, it gives me better ideas on how to do my videos in the future, you know, angles and stuff like that. You know, it's helpful feedback for myself. And I also noticed too, but thanks a lot for some of the subscribers who noticed that the engine, when it was at low throttle, right, when it starts to vibrate a little bit, you could tell that it kind of moves. There is a distortion factor with videos too. Like when it's so hot here on the asphalt, the sun radiates the heat upwards and it causes almost like a wavy kind of a look when you're outside, when it's too hot. And you've seen that. And that's what I did some research on, and that's it. It's the the heat, the extreme heat radiating down on the asphalt and bouncing back up, causing these waves for the video camera. It's almost like the same logic as the, if you guys have ever videotaped ultrasonic cleaners, you can't even hear the sound. Like the ultrasonic does something to the sound. But anyway, I think my engine bolts, they all might be a little loose. If one's loose and over time the others will jar itself loose, you know. So I might want to check out tightening up the engine mounting bolts. I'm going to check that out in a little bit. So my friend Alfredo Dirks, longtime subscriber, he watches every day. Thanks, Alfredo Dirks. He noticed that when I was on the machine with the $20 camera pointed this way, he noticed that this was kind of wobbly. I also felt that when I was riding it, it was like, and I did notice that you could see the white part of the rim sometimes going like this. Slight, you know what I mean? Not tremendous. But I thought maybe that it might be the lug nuts weren't put on right, or it got one of the lips got caught on one of the threads of the lug bolts, you know, maybe. But I'm looking at just with the naked eye, and it looks okay. I thought it might be the distortion of the chain, because this chain is not exactly centered. So when you're going at those speeds, right, this may give the illusion of it being wobbly because it's not centered. You know, this part may be covering more of the sidewall than this part is, which it is, you know, and it's flopping around. It may give the impression that it was moving, but that doesn't explain why I kind of felt like it, you know. Also, he said maybe the axle's bent. Have you seen this axle? This axle is like that thick. It's like 3 inches in diameter. Nothing's bending that axle. If anything, the bolts are not tighter enough, or I'll look into it, but honestly, it's really slight. You can't even tell. Not that I'm going to go and spend any money, you know, getting a new transmission for this. Transmission's like really heavy duty. You know what I'm saying? It would cost like $500 to get another one. Or find another one, a free one on Craigslist. I could do that. But these transmissions are pretty much indestructible. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do today. Tighten the engine bolts. Roll this back into the garage and putting a tarp down, right? Getting this on the tarp. Then I'm going to go over the whole thing with that Black & Decker oscillating tool and sand out all the dry paint chips and the rust. Just to get it, I'm not going to go crazy with this thing either. I'm just going to get it presentable. I've decided I am going to have to paint it if I'm going to sell this thing, right? And by the way, to some of you guys who say, are you going to keep it? No, I'm not going to keep it. I can't keep everything. While I do like it a lot because of the engine, that engine's a beast. You guys hear it, right? When it's idling, it's like a Harley Davidson. Let's not go to a Chevelle SS, but it's a good mean sound, which is why I'm still considering just a straight pipe and no muffler at all, you know? A straight pipe, maybe the resonator, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But then I'm going to kind of sort of prep it for paint. So here we go. Let's not go crazy, and I'm definitely not going to talk about any color that I prefer because I don't want to get ideas in your head and it turns out to be the color, you know? I want y'all to tell me what color I should paint it. Not a big deal. Vote if you can. If you don't want to vote, it's cool too. We'll wait for another episode where the paint is so important for the sale of the machine. This one, I think the engine will sell itself. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, let me know what you think. What color should I paint this? And also, give me the texture too, whether or not it should be gloss or matted. Because I will tell you this, if it's matted, it's much easier to paint. Like that desert sand thing, the coverage was great. One spray, that's covered, that's it. You know, because it has like primer in it too, you know. Whereas gloss paint, you know, takes several coats sometimes. I was just about to mention some colors that I was thinking of, but I'm not going to talk about it because I know that that's going to influence your vote. Vote first, then I'll tell you what I think. How about that? How about that? Catch me outside. Then I'm going to try to tighten the bolts on each of the wheels here. And then I might have to go to Home Depot just to walk along that plumbing aisle and see if I can find a 1 1/8 outer diameter elbow so that I can kind of fabricate at least something to get a straight pipe pointing downwards or something like that, you know? At least just to see the sound of it. That might just be it. Unless one of you guys have that muffler lying around your garage and you don't need it, you know, I'd appreciate a contribution to the channel. I just lost my train of thought here, you know. It happens when you turn 50. Oh, I had a subscriber that I've never heard from before. He emailed me today, email, not comment. He says, "Hey, Henry, you shouldn't be wearing flip-flops dealing with the lawnmowers and stuff. You cut your foot off. You should wear tennis shoes." Well, I said, of course, I do not practice safety in my apparel on a daily basis when working with these things. But remember this, because I am in flip-flops, in the back of my mind, I know how vulnerable my body is to the dangers of working with lawnmower machines, right? Not just lawnmowers, snow blowers. You could put your foot in that impeller and forget about it, you know? And I should wear tennis shoes or boots or something like that. But honestly, if you're talking about blades moving at high revolutions, right? If your foot is near enough to the blades that it'll cut, boots and tennis shoes isn't going to stop the blades from taking your foot off. It doesn't matter, you know? But because I'm wearing flip-flops, I'm practically naked, right? At least that's the sense you get. You're more cognizant of staying away from the danger. Like every time I start an engine up, I make sure that my feet are away from everything. You know what I mean? Or even, you know, like if a bunch of drug dealers are shooting machine guns at you, right? You always have to remember to duck behind the engine block of a car. I always have that mindset too. When I'm starting something, like a push mower, you guys will notice, I always put my feet behind each wheel well so that at least the wheels will block whatever blade is, even if the blade came off, at least it would sort of block the blades from hitting my feet because of the wheel. So I'm always like that. So I'm more aware of keeping my feet away from the danger. So in actuality, it's more safe the way I do it. So everybody should go out there and wear flip-flops. Yes, I know.
Hey, Henry, shut up already. Get to the video.
Hey, I've got a personality. I got to tell you everything that's going on, all right? You don't want to listen to my monologue? Skip forward.
Blah, blah, blah. Always talking. Henry, you talk too much.
So I've got like this muffler. See? This muffler is off of the Cub Cadet that I got from Nick from Medford. I think that's what it was from. And then I replaced it with, of course, I made two into one. Remember the Noah Syndergaard one? I made two Cub Cadets into one. That was a nightmare of a project. But anyway, that's the muffler to it. I found it in the bushes in the back. This has a bent elbow pipe right here. That's long, with a heat shield on it already, with it pointed down. This part here looks like it's a 1 1/8 diameter that goes right over it. I'm going to cut it right there and see if I can either fit it or weld it right to there, and you'd have a elbow pointed straight back. I'm going to try that because it's free. you guys saw, I cut the angled thing off of here, and it was double because it had the collar over it, right? And you had the other two inside the collar, so it was double the thickness of the pipe right here. So it was really hard to cut this part off without cutting some of the heat shield off to give me room for the cutting disc, you know? So, I mean, this muffler is, like, still usable, you know what I mean? I just don't know when I'm going to be using it, but I figure I'd use the pipe instead of going somewhere to get one, you know what I mean? So, that's that. So I had this angled pipe. It's exactly the same diameter as the exhaust manifold, see? So you know you couldn't fit it over it or inside of it, you know, you'd have to get like an outer collar that's 1 1/8 to fit over this and to fit over that. And instead of going out to get that or finding one, right, I figure I'd just weld it, you know, 1 inch to 1 inch. And the bottom, I mean, I just couldn't see, right? Even with the helmet on, I couldn't see. So I was just blind welding it, you know, looking at it, getting the wire, the flux wire right onto the seam, right? Closing my eyes and just estimating zzz, like that underneath. Because I don't want to climb under there, because when you do it, the sparks will fly onto your head and your eyes, you know, so it's dangerous. So I basically took my hand and I put it under here and I blind welded it. I didn't have the helmet on because, frankly, you couldn't see anyway, you know what I mean? So tack, 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 tack on the bottom, and then just imagining the line where I am, where my hand is, closing my eyes and going zzz, like that. So that's what happened. Honestly, it's not rocket science. It's not the space shuttle like Terrell says. It's just a welding of a pipe. Honestly, if you have it, the seams all covered with flux, I don't care what it looks like. As you also saw, I positioned it and clamped it on there and put the hood down. Put the hood down and turn the wheels, the front wheel, extreme left and extreme right, to ensure that I do not rub on the pipe. You know what I mean? And it's within a ½ inch of clearance. Even turning extreme left, right? I just hope that this doesn't flex. You know, like the suspension, it goes upwards. If you go on I guess it could, right? If you go on a curb or something, does this flex upwards? If it flex upwards, I'm screwed because it's going to hit this pipe, you know? It's got like this extra heat shield welded to it, you know? Which takes up another ½ inch or so, you know? But I don't know if this flexes much, you know? But I thought about putting the pipe pointed backwards, you know? But this is pointed a little bit upwards if you did that. And the heat would radiate on your leg, you know, your right leg sitting here. The heat would be tremendous, you know. So, not to mention it would cause the paint to char, or whatever, and heat up. And I didn't want to point it any more downwards, because then the hoses would be all super hot and melted. You know what I mean? So that's not a good idea. And I recall that most lawn tractors have their mufflers pointed forward. You know, the exhaust pipe. Even the square rectangle ones are pointed forward, you know, so I figured I'd point this forward, and this actually kind of parallel lines up with the hood, which is kind of cool, you know. But the true test is, that's right, shut up and stop talking. Let's hear it go. Hey, let's try it and see. Choke, half throttle. Power. that sound mean or what? That sounds mean. That's cool. I'm gonna keep it like that. That's cool. Here's high throttle. Yep. That sounds pretty cool, huh, fellas? Nice. Nice! Success! Success! I tell you, success! So now that we got that taken care of, right, I wanted to show you guys something about the engine being loose on the mounting bolts. That's a negative, fellas. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because this engine is built on rubber stoppers. The rubber actually cushions the engine on the frame of the garden tractor. I had an LTV 10, Craftsman, Sears Craftsman, lawn tractor, really old. It had the same setup. It has these rubber stoppers that connect in between the engine as well as the frame. And basically that'll give it some flex. There you go. So I just checked the bolts. They're as tight as can be. But on camera, with the frames per second, you're going to notice a little bit of flex, and that's the reason why. It's because they're on stoppers. So we're all good with the engine mounting, fellas. It's actually a good idea. Cushion the engine, you know, from the vibrations. For you enthusiasts, this is the model number. CV20S. C means command. V means vertical, 20 is the horsepower. S may mean half, because sometimes there's no S unless it's a regular number. If you have a 0.5, you might have the S. Maybe. I believe this is made in 97. Look at the serial number on the back, 97. Wisconsin, Kohler Company. Shout out to John Iall, who donated this scraper. I've been using this scraper a lot, John.
Thank you very much. It's easy to just get the rust and paint chips right off, you know? Listen, if you guys enjoy my videos, don't get complacent. Make sure you click the like button all the time, okay? And also, consider donating to the channel. PayPal.me/mowers and blowers. If you're on the street with your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, right? And you're walking around, you see a street performer, right? Playing the violin in the subway or something. You chuck them $1, don't you? Have I not provided some entertainment during COVID? Speaking of COVID, one of my friends, Chris Backman, who I used to work with at the police department, he came down with COVID the other day. He posted on Facebook that he was in the hospital. He's a young guy. He's like 30-something. So I hope he's okay. But anyway, during COVID, I hope I provide a lot of entertainment for you guys. Look at donating $1 or something, right? To help support the channel, keep the videos coming every day as a Hulu or a Netflix subscription. You pay those guys for entertainment, don't you? Not only do you smash that like button and subscribe, tell your friends, share on your social media, right? Hey, have you seen that guy Henry on Mowers and Blowers? Very entertaining videos. Go check it out. Hey, your tractor doesn't work? Go check out Henry over at Mowers and Blowers. He'll help you fix your tractor. Watch his videos. He's pretty much done everything there is to do about every damn tractor there is out there. You know what I mean? Not to mention blowers too. Mowers and Blowers. That's right. Go follow my Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. As you guys saw, I got the lights to work. Isn't that amazing? You know, all I did was just connect them. Has a separate light switch over here. Isn't that cool? It is super cool, man. So listen, I mean, what do we do today? Fix the exhaust, right? Put the straight pipe pointing forward, welded it on there, got the lights to work, blinded all the rust and paint chips out. I'm going to wipe it down again before I paint it. But listen, I'm going to need your help again. I'm going to do another poll. What color should I paint it? And I'm not telling you what I think you should paint it. I'm just gonna listen to you guys. So, silent watchers, get off your couch again. Let's go. What color should I paint this? I've done a lot today. Actually, I've done a lot every day. What have you guys done with your life during COVID? Get off your couch and go fix something, man. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Mowing the lawn with the good old Toro 616Z zero turn. So reliable, always starts up.